Permítame felicitar a todas las delegaciones y los Estados miembros que participaron con un espíritu constructivo a lo largo del proceso de negociación de este borrador de documento final de Caracas, dando muestras de flexibilidad, voluntad política y un verdadero espíritu de no alineamiento. Esta es una muestra no solo de la vigencia de nuestro movimiento, sino de nuestra afinidad y coherencia política, de nuestra solidaridad y de nuestra unidad, muy a pesar de la gran diversidad de nuestra composición.
Buenas tardes.
Permítame felicitar a todas las delegaciones y los Estados miembros que participaron con un espíritu constructivo a lo largo del proceso de negociación de este borrador de documento final de Caracas, dando muestras de flexibilidad, voluntad política y un verdadero espíritu de no alineamiento. Esta es una muestra no solo de la vigencia de nuestro movimiento, sino de nuestra afinidad y coherencia política, de nuestra solidaridad y de nuestra unidad, muy a pesar de la gran diversidad de nuestra composición.
Para finalizar, vamos a hacer una obra que es considerada nuestro segundo himno nacional. Nuestro segundo himno nacional, que también se llama así nuestra orquesta, Orquesta Alma Llanera del Distrito Capital. Entonces, la obra se llama Alma Llanera.
Bueno, muchas gracias, buenas tardes. Se reanuda la sesión. Agradecemos, esto fue apenas una muestra del Sistema Nacional de Orquestas Infantiles, Juveniles de la República Bolivariana de Venezuela. Saben ustedes, allí se han incorporado ya 1 millón de jóvenes de todas las edades. Hay todo tipo de ensambles, de agrupaciones, de orquestas a lo largo y ancho de todo el país y fundamentalmente son jóvenes venezolanos que vienen de los estratos más pobres de la sociedad y que se les da acceso a una nueva vida a través de la música para que se mantengan en la disciplina, en la hermosura, en la poesía de la música y no en cualquier camino del vicio. Un homenaje siempre al maestro José Antonio Abreu, quien es el gran padre del Sistema Nacional de Orquestas y que ha contado con todo el apoyo de la Revolución Bolivariana, años en los cuales el sistema de orquestas se ha expandido, se ha potenciado como nunca jamás. Vamos a continuar entonces con el debate, recordando el tema, la promoción y consolidación de la paz a través del derecho internacional, recordando que los oradores cuentan con 5 minutos para su intervención y vamos entonces a retomar con el excelentísimo señor Chet Green, ministro de Relaciones Exteriores de Antigua y Barbuda. Adelante, hermano.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm sure my colleagues here would have preferred to be listening to some more of that youthful music, but the work continues. And so, Mr. Chair, distinguished representatives of member countries and invited organizations, I would like to commence by expressing my sincerest gratitude to the government of the resilient people of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela for your very warm hospitality and for hosting this very important and significant ministerial meeting of the Non-Aligned Movement. My appreciation, of course, is inclusive of a very sumptuous lunch, which I think we all enjoyed just a few moments ago. Antigua and Barbuda remains committed to supporting the core principles of the movement as it continues to play an essential role in the strengthening of the international peace and security, consistent with our mission of establishing a more prosperous and peaceful world. The collapse of colonial systems and the struggle for independence by oppressed nations of the Caribbean and the rest of the world resulted in the establishment of this international movement as a force, a voice, and a catalyst for change and liberation. 60 years later, the need for justice, peace, and security continue to occupy the agenda of the United Nations and the international community with great urgency. Truth be told, peace and security are now global imperatives. I believe that the Non-Aligned Movement has an important advocacy role to play in strengthening international peace and security within the framework of its permanent quest for establishing a more peaceful and prosperous world. As small island developing states, our present challenges have emphasized the need for continued international dialogue in support of our efforts to uphold the fundamentals of international law and promoting, protecting, and preserving the Caribbean region as a zone of peace. My Prime Minister, Gaston Brown, speaking at the NAM Summit in Margarita Island in 2016, posited the view that, and I quote, as small and micro-states in the international system, countries such as ours are deprived of a voice in the existing international system, end of quote. His observation then supports the founding principles of the non-aligned movement and the preservation of multilateralism. Our presence here today is testimony to our determination to engage and build alliances that will support our fight against injustice and exploitation and our demand for a more equitable world. In upholding this perspective, our leaders, through the framework of CARICOM and with the support of the governments of Mexico and Uruguay, continue to advocate for the adoption of the Montevideo mechanism in addressing the prevailing issues here in Venezuela. That mechanism, as we all know, affirms the respect for international law and human rights as guaranteed by the UN Charter and advances diplomacy over all other alternatives as the only way to achieve sustainable, legitimate, and effective peace and stability. My government continues to stand in solidarity with our colleagues in Venezuela and pledge our commitment of support with the Venezuelan people and government in finding an effective solution to the ongoing situation. As a region, the livelihoods of our people are dependent on the maintenance of peace, as it enables and fosters the development of our microeconomies, security, social and economic justice, and reconciliation. A peaceful environment is critical as it affects all facets of Caribbean economic development. And in this context, Antigua and Barbuda hereby declares, pronounces, and advises our support for and solidarity with the governments and people of the Republic of Cuba and Nicaragua. A war-torn region, a region plagued by continuous instability, would only increase the scale of vulnerability being faced by our regional economies. The entire grouping of small island states are threatened by the adverse effects of the possible withdrawal of corresponding banking relations and the EU-driven, unjustifiable, harmful blacklisting of our jurisdictions. If this continues without the strong and effective advocacy by the large countries of the global community, the Caribbean runs the risk of being excluded from the global trading and financial systems. This has the potential to force the region into social, political, and economic crisis. Therefore, the theme of this ministerial meeting, promotion and consolidation of peace through respect for international law, challenges us as a movement to pool our collective resources to find acceptable and fair global approaches to de-risking and blacklisting. A rebranded, revitalized, and revived NAM has a duty to be a strong global advocate against the existential threats of climate destruction, de-risking, and blacklisting. The right to survive, to live, and to enjoy the benefits of our shared planet must no longer be a right of a handful of countries, but a common and shared right of all. And Antigua and Barbuda advocates that this must be a shared vision and an expressed mission of all members of this great organization. Only the non-aligned movement can lead this new global imperative of consolidation of peace through respect for international law. I thank you.
Muchas gracias al ministro Chet Green de Antigua y Barbuda. Vamos a darle la palabra al excelentísimo señor Boris Auch, secretario de Estado del Reino de Camboya.
Mr. Chairman, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, at the outset, I would like to take the opportunity to join other speakers to express my sincere appreciation to the esteemed government of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela for the warmest welcome and cordial hospitality extended to me, to my delegation. I wish to congratulate Her Excellency Mr. Jose Alberto Agera Montserrat, Minister for the People Power for Foreign Affairs of the Bolivian Republic of Venezuela, for assuming the chairmanship of this important meeting. I am confident that under your able leadership, the meeting will be steered to a successful conclusion. The world event has been pushing our life into increasingly deeper level of uncertainty and danger with no end in sight. It is the fact, regardless of where we are, whether we want to admit it or not, or whether we choose to worry or ignore it. Not only the continued consolidation of the multipolar world order and superpower influence competition, not only the intra-regional security challenges. This does not include yet the rise of the populism and extremism, the pushback against free trade and the resurgence of protectionism, the digital revolution, the complexity of the traditional and non-traditional security challenges, including climate change, the spread of infectious disease and cyber crimes, etc. Security uncertainties coupled with blatant unilateralism have not only disrupted cooperative multilateralism, but add more problems to the world and hinder peaceful coexistence among nations. This trend has divided countries and compelled states to seek alliance formulation for the sake of security assurance under the protection of power and deadly weapon in defiance of multilateralism and respect for international law. Indeed, countries may seek alliance building to ensure that security, but this is not the reason that this august institution was created. Instead of the reliance on security alliance, ideological confrontation, NAM was created for the common desire for peaceful coexistence based on respect for the rule of law, where all states are equal in terms of the sovereignty, right to peace and development, and self-determination. NAM was created to rise against sovereign injustice and inequality based on might is right. This reason that of NAM is still relevant in today's world as reflected in this year's theme, promotion and consolidation of peace through respect for international law. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, today we witness occurrences when foreign countries impose standards of governance upon others, weigh out the preference of other countries' leadership, decide on a country or government legitimacy, claim to act on behalf of the other country people, and rank other country by their multiple standards based on their own national and geopolitical interests. Unilateral coercive measures, including unilateral economic sanctions and other intimidation measures, have threatened sovereignty and independence, freedom of trade and investment, and has prevented us from exercising our right to decide by our own free will, our own destiny. Such measures constitute flagrant violation of the UN Charter, international law, particularly the principle of non-intervention, self-determination, and independence of state, subject to such practice, and the multilateral trading system, as well as the norm and principle governing friendly relations among states. This is not a distant case, but the case of my own country. Cambodia, previously known as the killing field, has transformed herself to land of freedom, with an adherence to the principle of liberal multi-party democracy by regularly holding free, fair, and just elections. In 2018, Cambodia held the general election in a fair, free, and peaceful manner, with 20 registered political parties contesting, and the voter turnout rate was 83.02%, an exceptionally high rate compared to some countries that have long upheld democracy. The election was supervised and monitored by 500 international observers, 80,000 national observers, and 9,000 observers from various political parties. Despite all these facts, unsurprisingly, some foreign governments with shameless and unabated audacity refused to send observers, but they instead declared, even before election day, their erroneous assessment on the election, and they keep threatening Cambodia with unilateral political and economic sanctions. They are in complete disrespect of the voice of the nearly 7 million Cambodian people who spoke loud and clear that we choose peaceful democratization, stability, and sustainable development. It is not that Cambodia is the only country in Asia that allows the United Nations Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights to open its field office in the country and has indeed accepted mandate of country's special rapporteur since 1993. So far, we have welcomed 6 country special rapporteurs. Despite our utmost efforts and numerous achievements, Cambodia has never been commended by a group of institutions who hold only one single standard of evaluation, which is regime change. They always accuse Cambodia of violating human rights, even though human rights record in their own country as filled with xenophobia, racial discrimination, mistreatment of immigrants, etc. Without hesitation, they apply double standard in evaluating the situation of human rights in Cambodia with an aim to hinder our development and damage our country's reputation. Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, as a small state, we are facing mounting security challenges and geopolitical risks. Foreign interference under guise of democracy and human rights has generated human tragedy in countries in Asia, Africa, in the Middle East, and the tension is gaining steam in Latin America too. We cannot lose sight of this risk, and we have to stay alert to looming threat arising from major power intervention in our domestic affairs. I believe Cambodia is not the alone victim, and we are not alone in desiring for sovereign independence, self-determination, and the right to live in peace to enhance our people's prosperity. Cambodia are committed to work hand in hand with all friendly countries, including members of the non-aligned movement, to achieve this common desire of nation. In this spirit, Cambodia, previously being a country to receive UN peacekeeper, has humbly contributed in the UN peacekeeping mission in many parts of the world. Starting from 2006 to June 2019, Cambodia has dispatched 6,268 personnel in the 10 UN peacekeeping missions in 8 countries, including Sudan, South Sudan, Chad, Central Africa, Lebanon, Cyprus, Syria, and Mali. Cambodia is home to the ASEAN Regional Mine Action Center that aims to collectively tackle the humanitarian aspect of landmine and explosive remnant of war through experience sharing, skill training, and other capacity building activities. The Cambodian Mine Action Center is welcoming all friends as far as Colombia and Angola to learn from the experiences and know how to on mine clearance. In 2020, Cambodia will be hosting the 13th Summit of the Asia-European Meeting, ASEM 13, and expecting to gather 51 head of state, governments of Europe and Asian member states, among which 14 are non-member states. Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, I strongly believe that NAM has strength in our unity. NAM has collective power to denounce external interference and violation of sovereign rights of each state. With our solidarity, NAM has the power to push for promotion and consolidation of global peace through our faithful observance of the principle of international law concerning friendly relations and cooperation among states and fulfillment in good faith of the obligation assumed by state in accordance with the Charter of the United Nations. Mr. Chairman, avant de terminer, je voudrais vous demander de bien vouloir transmettre mes sincères appréciations au groupe de jeunes musiciens vénézuéliens qui viennent de présenter de très belles musiques que je ne manquerai pas de les féliciter sincèrement. Merci.
Muchas gracias, ministro de Camboya. Vamos a darle la palabra a la excelentísima señora Christine Herbst, viceministra de Relaciones Internacionales y Cooperación de la hermana República de Namibia.
Your Excellency, Mr. Montserrat, Minister of the People's Power for Foreign Affairs of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela and the Chair of the Non-Aligned Movement, Your Excellencies, Ministers and distinguished heads of delegation, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to extend my heartfelt thanks and gratitude to the government and the people of Venezuela for the warm welcome and hospitality accorded to me and my delegation since our arrival in this beautiful city of Caracas. Allow me also to express my appreciation to His Excellency, Mr. Nicolas Maduro, President of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, for the great honor and privilege bestowed upon the nation and spirit of no surrender of this heroic people and nation. We say, a luta continua, e victoria es certa. Mr. Chairman, your great efforts in the excellent organization of the ministerial meeting of the Coordinating Bureau and your able leadership in steering the work of the movement during your tenure is highly appreciated. Equally, I also wish to congratulate the delegation of Azerbaijan as incoming chair and members of the Coordinating Bureau and assure you that my delegation stands ready to support your chairmanship. Your Excellencies, the theme of our meeting today is appropriate and relevant as it emphasizes the vital importance to promoting the respect of sovereignty and territorial integrity of all nations, human rights, peace, and development. There is no question that we live in a time when the multilateralism space is increasingly contrasting. We therefore need to be reminded of the principles and purposes of the non-aligned movement, and as such, we should remain united in the face of unilateralism and tendencies of self-proclaimed interests. As we continue to witness the erosion of multilateralism, my delegation believes this could not only reverse the hard-won progress made over decades, but also runs against the spirit of SDG 17 on revitalizing the global partnership and international cooperation for sustainable development, which could also negatively have consequences to the development in our countries. Your Excellencies, Namibia, as a child of international solidarity, has enshrined in its constitution the principle of non-alignment, the respect of international law, peaceful coexistence and non-interference in the affairs of other states. It is against this background that our President, Dr. Hage G. Geingob, as the current chair of SADC, delivered a declaration recognizing that the people of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela have expressed their political choice through their parliamentary elections of December 2018 and December 2015 and May 2018. The declaration urges the international community and all stakeholders to respect the outcomes of these elections. The declaration further condemns the violations of the principles of international law and calls for respect for sovereignty and non-interference in the internal affairs of sovereign states, to allow the people of Venezuela to resolve their internal issues in an amicable and peaceful manner and within the confines of the Constitution of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. We reiterate our strong fraternal solidarity with the government and the people of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. Excellencies, for 57 years, the Cuban people have been victims of an unfair and unnecessary economic blockade. The economic, commercial, and financial blockade is contrary to international law and the Charter of the United Nations. Namibia therefore remains hopeful that the economic, commercial, and financial blockade imposed by the United States of America against Cuba will be fully lifted, that relations will improve, and that the two countries will restore full economic activities for their mutual benefit. In the same vein, Namibia commends the efforts made by the government of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea on the Korean Peninsula to ensure that peace and security is maintained in the region. We call for all member states to support these peace initiatives to ensure lasting peace in that region. Excellencies, it has now been more than 70 years that we have been waiting to see the illegal occupation of Palestine come to an end, and to see the Palestine people exercise their inalienable right for self-determination and freedom. Because of our desire for the people of both Israel and Palestine to live in peace and in a stable region that would ultimately enable the region to concentrate its energies, resources, and talents in development and progress, we steadfastly believe and support the UN Secretary General and the overwhelming majority of the UN member states in the conviction that there is no plan B to the two-state solution. We are convinced that two states' existence and living side by side, respecting each other's territorial integrity, sovereignty, and dignity, is the only way to ensure prospects for peace and prosperity for both peoples. Namibia therefore supports all efforts in finding a just and lasting peaceful solution to this conflict through genuine dialogue between all stakeholders. Mr. Chairman, Namibia welcomes the efforts made between the Kingdom of Morocco and the Frente Polisario and relevant stakeholders during the last two sessions of consultations in Geneva towards the long-standing UN-supported call for resolving the dispute of the decolonization of the Western Sahara. We call on the parties to continue working together in the interest of those who have yet to realize their inalienable full rights and benefits of freedom and independence. Therefore, Namibia reaffirms the position of SADC. Resolving their long-standing struggle will finally complete the full decolonization of the African continent. Namibia will continue to support the people of Western Sahara in their quest for freedom and self-determination. Your Excellencies, next year, we will be marking 75 years since the creation of the United Nations. The world today looks much different from that time. New developments are taking place constantly. The realities, challenges, demands, and obligations that we as the international community face today call for inclusion, not exclusion, greater transparency, democracy, and equality. In no way can it still be business as usual. When the continent of Africa, with its 1.2 billion inhabitants, continue to be excluded from the decision-making, management, and responsibilities over the pursuit and management of international peace and security today. Time to end the injustice of the past is long, long overdue. In conclusion, Your Excellencies, Namibia appreciates the firm support of our NEM family to stand firm in its solidarity with Africa's quest for equitable representation and to have a rightful place in a reformed United Nations Security Council. Namibia is a member of the Committee of 10, shortly C10, that is mandated by the African Union to canvass, to advocate, and to promote the support for the AU common position on the reform of the United Nations Security Council. Wish to express our heartfelt gratitude to the NAM Ministerial meeting for their generosity to support the proposal by the South African delegation for unambiguous support to the African common position as espoused in the Esulwini Consensus and Sirte Declaration. The injustice and the exclusion of Africa must come to an end. No one must be left behind. The clock is ticking and the time is running. Therefore, the time to act is now. And I thank you.
Permítame un permiso, sí. Por favor. ¿Estamos listos? Vamos a darle la palabra, por favor, a la maestra.
Presente el ciudadano Nicolás Maduro Moros, presidente constitucional de la República Bolivariana de Venezuela.
Bueno, muy buenas tardes. Bienvenido el presidente de la República Bolivariana de Venezuela, presidente Nicolás Maduro, quien ha estado como presidente al frente del Movimiento de Países No Alineados a lo largo de estos 3 años. Presidente, esta reunión del Buró Ministerial del Movimiento de Países No Alineados se ha celebrado desde el día 18, Día Internacional de Nelson Mandela, 18 de julio, con los altos funcionarios. Luego se han incorporado los ministros, viceministros y jefes de delegación de las 120 delegaciones, más los países observadores, las organizaciones también observadoras e invitados internacionales que han venido a la ciudad de Caracas desde el pasado 18. Ha sido una jornada exitosa, preparándonos para la reunión que habrá en Bakú, Azerbaiyán, donde la presidencia de Venezuela le entregará pues a Azerbaiyán como nuevo presidente del Movimiento de Países No Alineados. El tema, presidente, es la promoción y consolidación de la paz a través del respeto al derecho internacional. Ha habido propuestas a lo largo de los debates, se ha aprobado un grupo de trabajo contra las sanciones o las medidas coercitivas unilaterales del Movimiento de Países No Alineados, que por primera vez va a tener un grupo especial que se dedicará a estudiar este tema y cómo contener esas agresiones unilaterales contra la soberanía de nuestros pueblos. Tenemos el honor también de haber logrado consensuar todos los documentos, incluyendo un documento de más de 1000 párrafos que tuvimos la fortuna de tener un acuerdo general entre todos los Estados miembros. Si usted me permite, en este momento vamos a someter a consideración de esta Asamblea la aprobación de los documentos. El primero de ellos es el borrador del documento final de Caracas y el segundo el borrador de la Declaración Política de Caracas. Lo sometemos a consideración. Si hay alguna observación, por favor. Al no haberla, se dan entonces como aprobados ambos documentos. Vamos entonces a ofrecerle la palabra al presidente Nicolás Maduro Moros para que dé un saludo al Movimiento de Países No Alineados en su reunión ministerial. Adelante, presidente.
Estimados ministros,